Hi friends, welcome back to Tulsi Tech in Creatives. Guys, today we are going to discuss about AWS API Gateway. Actually we are using API Gateway for like deploying any single microservices or multiple microservices. We are going to deploy using this. Like this is actually WebSocket protocol. It will deploy using the without infrastructure to manage. Like we are single API also we can use to deploy. Actually, this is the diagram for that building the serverless APIs using API gateway. So we can use REST API, like there is a REST API gateway is there. We can select that REST API gateway, so we can use to proxy request. Like there is a one of the option in API gateway, proxy request, and also Lambda also, inside Lambda we are creating one API code. This is my sample API code, Lambda code. I am using hello world. We can use any this body message. I will show you how to deploy this code. Finally we are going to store the code into data into the DynamoDB. This is the process we are going to work on today. Like this is the entire like process of the API gateway. You can see in these nodes there is some steps is there supporting WebSocket protocols or API versioning also we are following like v1 v2 v3, or also we can following some environments dev text prod and like that, and also authentication and authorization also you can use it like username passwords, like logging the application, that also you can security you can use it to maintain the security. And also you can API keys also you can request and response and body you can use that body method also. And then one more thing also, like we are using API response. That response we can show the 200 response or any different issues we are facing, that response also we are getting. We can easy to handle, and a single URL only you can deploy you can deploy multiple APIs. There is a single URL, so you can access using path base also. We can go for practice session without delay any thing. This is my AWS account. I am going to API gateway. This is the API gateway. So there is a multiple APIs is there. Like previously I mentioned, we are going to use the REST API. There is a WebSocket API, HTTP API, REST APIs. You can easy to read here. Develop to REST where you complete the control over the request and response. So I am using HTTP request and response. So I am using this. Let me build. 1 second. Okay, sorry for the here also there is a multiple options is showing. You can, if you have existing code now, you can clone directly that code. And also you can you have the data in your laptop, you can import that using the options also, like GitHub or any other APIs, or like cloud you are storing now, you can easy to select that. There is a multiple options also there. And I am going to new API. I'm deploying for end to end, so I need to show it to this, right, how it will work. So I'm selecting new API. I'm adding my REST API, new API. My first gateway. Okay, I'm creating that API. So this is my API. So there is a multiple options also there: resources, model, resource policy, dashboards. So if you want, you can go through that going to API Gateway. So this is the main part of our API for deploying. See, here is the documentation API deploy API. I will show you where we like why we are using this option. So first of all, we can create the method. After using this, we can create the method. I am using get method. This is the get method. Here also we can use multiple. Here also multiple code options we can use. So I'm using Lambda function. You can use VPC links, AWS services, HTTP, like other APIs also. You can like languages or something. You can think about that. Like I'm using Lambda function. So previously I showed it right in the diagram. Proxy request. Here is the proxy request. You can enable this. Then it will redirect to your lambda function. So before going to this, I am creating the lambda function first. Let me go to lambda. This is the lambda, creating the function. This is the my first function, my AWS gateway get function. So I am using Python 3.11. So my code is supporting this language. So I am using that and creating the function. Okay, this is the code. Like just I'm writing the sample hello world code. You can use anything, hello from lambda or hello world or status code 200. I'm using the json body. I'm copying this. Go here. My function is creating lambda function. You can go simply in below, paste it here, that code. If you want, you can test it. You can create any hello world or something. Just test this. Click on the text. See, you will get the response. So then I am deploying this. Okay, I have deployed that. I am just copying this function ARN. So I am going to API gateway. Why I am creating the API gateway, right? Sorry, lambda function, right? Here it will asking the lambda function error. So just select. I am pasting here. This is my. I am selecting that, and here is the one of the option is there. Timer is there. By default, 29 seconds. It will run that gateway. If you want, you can select manually also what time you want to execute that API gateway. So I'm just selecting default. So be careful here. Method I'm typing get method, and add proxy I'm enabling that, and I'm adding the lambda function. Before adding lambda function, I'm creating the one lambda function here. I'm using my existing code. That code I will send it to GitHub, my GitHub. You can use simply. Okay, then go here and create the method. This is the API gateway I have created. We can wait until to create. So it is created. Before explaining this, first go to the Lambda function. Just refresh this page. See my AWS gateway. This is my Lambda. Lambda I have added a name is my AWS gateway. This gateway it is connecting to. This function is creating to Lambda function is connecting to my API gateway now. Now both are interlinked. Now here you can see client is requesting the method, then integration response will passing to the again method response will get that using this response, using this request, using this proxy integration, you will get the response. So here is one option is there, test option. You can test here also. Just click on text, you will get the status code 200. Your response body is the hello for Lambda, where I added that. See, this is the my hello from Lambda. If you want, you can where I want to print uh, events, you can use and deploy it. Here you can check the CloudWatch logs also, how to print the events. Go to monitor, view the CloudWatch logs. So here is my logs got generated. I am selecting latest one. You can see here, this is the end request ID and this is the install starting version. You can check the your logs also using CloudWatch, and also I will create one more resources that will using pathways, how we can deploy that application using houses is the my path base. So I'm creating the resource path valid green. What is that? Resource path part only. Sorry, slash we already added, right? Sorry, just houses. Create the resource. Okay, now my resource is created. Now I need to create again one more method for houses. I am creating method again. I am selecting again the get method. I am using Lambda only again. Same, I am enabling the proxy. Same code I am going to create the Lambda function again. Okay, for this Lambda function I need to create slash houses. Create the function my function houses, selecting the same version and creating the function. So like this you can create the multiple APIs. So you have the 10 microservices, you need to create the 10 functions, or a single URL can access all the functions. So you need to redirect like this only. For using the pathways only, you need to redirect. I am adding here. Now I am changing the hello from hello hello, any message you can, my pretty house. Okay, this is I'm adding. You can reply directly. If you want, you can test it. Again I need to create. Okay, directly I'm replying. Okay, I'm replying. Now go to here. Sorry, we need to copy that ARN, right? Copy this ARN, go to API Gateway and add it here. Select this. Okay, everything is done. Enable proxy and timer also default. Create the method. We can wait for until that creating. So here just go to end and test it this. See here under the houses test get method got added. So just tested this. See, hello from my pretty house is missing. Let me test it again. Okay, now I am getting correct response body. Status code is 200. Under the houses I am getting get method again. So I have deployed two APIs, right? One is a get method, another one is the slash houses. So now how I can access two APIs in single URL? So API gateway, through using API gateway, in starting we are discussing that only, right? Through API gateway we are going to deploy the application. We are accessing the using browser. Like how we are going to do this, like all the APIs is done now. You just simply click on deploy the APIs. Here you can select new stage APIs and staging name dev or production your environment. I'm just adding dev. Just deploy it. Okay, now my deployment is done. My deployment is done. Just go to below. There is a invoke URL. Just copy this URL. Okay, just copy this URL. Go to browser. Paste it here. By default, it is accessing default API. So second API what I have created slash houses. Just enter. Sorry. Some go to API gateway. Copy this URL. Paste it here. By default, get API it will create. So second, you just there is a slash houses, right? Just enter that after dev slash houses. See, I am getting hello my pretty house. So both the APIs it is connecting single URL. So if you like any unwanted keywords you are adding now, it is not getting the response. It will getting the missing authentication token. So we need to add the correct path. Whatever path you are adding that APIs, that path only you need to enter the like end of the URL. You will get the response. It will connecting to that API. By default API it will connect the get method for that starting follow from lambda. If you want whatever we have created another one, so that you need to specify the path. So this is how today topic, how we are going to deploy that multiple APIs using AWS API Gateway. So this is easy way to we can like check our code it is working or not, or simply APIs or simple project we are going to deploy this API Gateway. Okay guys, this is the way to we are going to do. Now I am going to delete this and clearing everything. I'm just going to confirm this, delete it. Now I'm going to Lambda again, go to functions, there is a two functions. I'm just selecting that, go to action, delete it. Okay, this is how we are going to work on the API gateway. Everything is I will share the documentation code and everything in my GitHub. I will add the description also, you can easy to take it. Okay, thank you guys, we can discuss remaining topics on tomorrow. Bye.